pay tax to the light department or water department, it is not that the director or the in charge of the light department and water department takes that money. He does not take money. It goes to the government treasury. Similarly, therefore, it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Jappanna devata bhakta jajanti sadhyarnita tipi mamivo jajanti avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam. They tax department, there are different tax department. But if you pay the whole amount, government treasury making a bill for this department, this department, this, then automatically it will be distributed. Similarly, the Devajagga, to perform Jagga in the name of the demigods, can all be performed in one Jagga when you become Krishna conscious. When you become, how? That is also stated in the Shastra, that Devarsi bhutapta ninang pitrinang nayang rini no kinkara rajan. Narad Muni says to Maharaj Yudhishthira that we have got so many due taxes to be paid to the Devata, demigods, because they are utilizing so many material elements controlled by different Devata. Then we are debtor to the rishis. Rishis means saintly person. Just like we are reading this Srimad Bhagavatam, and who has given this Srimad Bhagavatam? By Vyasdev. So we are debtor. Vyasdev has given us Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahamani Krite, Kimma Parai Ishara. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is made by Vyasdev. So we are taking advantage of the knowledge, so we are so much indebted to Vyasdev. We are indebted to the demigods, we are indebted to Vyasdev or other rishis. Manu Sangita, we are indebted to the great Manu. Bhingsati, we are indebted to Parasar Muni. He has given Dharma Shastra. In this way, there are so many Vedic literatures, and we take advantage of it, therefore we must be indebted. Deva, Rishi and Bhuta, we are taking milk from the cows. Bhuta, Apta friends, relatives, we are taking advantage in the family, from the father, from the mother, from the elderly brother, from the servant. See, in this way you are all indebted. You cannot take any service from anyone without being indebted. You cannot take. It must be. So we are becoming entangled, complicated with indebtedness. That is called karma. If you don't pay bill, then you have to suffer. Then you have to suffer, because you are taking simply. These rascals, they do not know. They are so much ungrateful that taking milk from the cows, and when the milk is no more supply, all right, send it to the slaughterhouse. Once he has taken milk, he is indebted, again it is being killed by him. So how much he has become entangled in his karma, he does not know. Mudha. Duskitina mudha. Those who are addicted to commit sins, they are all mudhas. They do not know. So therefore, because they are murhas and because they are duskitina, they cannot understand Krishna. The murhas and the duskitina, sinful men, they cannot understand. Therefore you'll find generally those are too much low-born, without any knowledge, without any pious activity. They're all atheists, godless. They cannot understand. How they will understand? Because they are murhas, naradhama. Naradhama means this life, human life, is an opportunity to understand how things are going on. But they do not take advantage. Naradhama, lowest of the mankind. No. Then you go to the learned Mayapur, the so-called learned BSc, DSc, PhD, have. What is that? Learning. It's simply the same thing. Ahara nidra bhaya maithana. How to eat, how to sleep. Their learning, their education is meant for how to eat, how to sleep. That's all. But that is also dog's business. Maya aparita jnana. Real knowledge is, education is how things are going on within this nature. Janmadasya jataha. They are not interested in these things. Education means how to get one service so that I can get salary and I may live very comfortably, and my wife, my children. The same thing, dog's business. Dog is also interested only for eating, for having sex with another female dog, and get some every 6 months, half a dozen goodies, like that. This is not, therefore Maya apurita jnana. Even they are so-called educated, their real knowledge is taken away. Real knowledge is to inquire about the Absolute, athata brahma jigyasa. So in this way, we are going on. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, there's a Bala Dija. He says, Bala Dija, Suhit, Mitra. We should not go against them. Bala, Jino Bala na Pathita. Chanakya Pandit says that Mata Shatru Pita Vairi Jino Bala na Pathita. The mother is enemy and the father is enemy who does not take care of the children. How to educate them? How to become God conscious? How to become Krishna conscious? Is enemy. So any father and mother who has not given education for spiritual advancement of life, he is enemy. He is not father and mother. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj saw himself, the father being killed. Why? Because he was against Krishna consciousness. He was against Krishna consciousness. Father being killed. Similarly, Suhit, Mitra, just like Bibhishan. Bibhishan is Ravan's brother. But he complicated himself in the plan how Ravan should be killed with Ramchandra. Ramchandra, he made it that this, my brother, should be killed. Suhit Mitra. So, there are many instances. Bali Maharaj, he rejected his spiritual master. You are nonsense. You cannot become my spiritual master. Because, why? That Shukracharya, when Bali Maharaj was going to promise, so Shukracharya advised, don't promise anything. He is Vishnu. He has come as dwarf to take everything from you. Then Bali Maharaj found that this is a foolish man. This Shukracharya means Jat Gosai. By seminar, they become Acharya. The seminar. That is in India, a Guru Vangsha. Guru Vangsha, Guru meaning spiritual master. The spiritual master of Vangsha. That is disciplic success. Evang Parampara, that is Guru Vangsha. Not by seminar, but that is going on. The Shukracharya. This is my Guru's family. Guru's family, he has begotten a child, so something must be given. His credit is he has begotten child, therefore something must be given. So this is going on. Shukracharya. So Shukracharya was rejected by Bali Maharaj. Shukracharya. No, this family Guru or the Jat Gosai. No. Real Guru. So, why rejected? When Shukracharya was thinking that this man, Bali, is going to give everything to Vishnu, here is Brahman, then how I shall live? Because I get something from this man and I live. So if he is going to give everything to Vishnu, then what is our position? We shall starve. That is their business only. How to exploit the disciple and take money from him and fill up the belly. That is Shukracharya's business. Therefore Bali Maharaj rejected. No, I don't want you. So there are many instances. Sajanatyag. The gopis, when they are going to Krishna, all this sajana, their brother, their husband, their sons and everyone pervade. Where are we going? Where are we going? Or the Jagging Brahman's Potni, they also did not care for Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that you can be free from the debts of Devarshi Bhutaptu Ninang Pitrina Nang Rini na Kinkar. Who? Sarvatmanaji Saranang Saranang Gatu Mukundang Parihuttakar. One who has taken full shelter of Krishna, Sarvatmana, without any reservation, he is no more Rini. He is no more. He is fully liquidated. And how? Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam aham tang sarva papibhav. If you think that without liquidating the debts of so many persons, Devata, Rishi, Bhuta, Apta, general people, if you think by simply surrendering to me, you will be liable to punishment for not paying bills to so many persons. Krishna assures, Ma Sucha, don't bother, I will give you protection. So, from the material point of view, everyone must be prepared to pay, to take protection. But then does it mean that if one becomes devotee, he becomes irresponsible? No. These things automatically come. Just like we are giving protection to the children. So many children are here. Why? What is the aim? The aim is that we want to see that everyone become Krishna conscious. That automatically comes. To take care of the children, to give them education, to give them food, to give them shelter. That is real protection. And simply to give them, just like in Western countries, they feed the children. with powder flesh, mixed with water, boiled, and pushed with the spoon, and they become fatty, of course. But that is not really maintaining the children. That is not really. Shastra says that unless you save him from the imminent danger of death, then there is no protection. What is this protection? Suppose if you make your child very fatty, does it mean because he is fat, he is very strong, therefore he will not die? He will die. What is your protection from the death? Therefore Shastra said, Pita nasasya janani nasasya namo chayaja samupeta mrityam. One should not become father or mother. That is real contraceptive method. If one is Krishna conscious, then he knows that what is the use of producing some children like cats and dogs? What is the use? If I produce any children, then they must be Krishna conscious, so that this will be their last birth. Because if you become Krishna conscious, then there is no more birth. Tapta dehang punarjanma naiti mameti kaunteya. You send to Krishna back to him. That is required. Father, mother, guardian's duty is to educate the world's subordinates in such a way that he becomes fully Krishna conscious, and so that he can be saved from this repetition of birth and death. So, this is, but first duty is to give protection to the Bala Dvija. But Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking that he has killed so many boys. The other party, there were grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthira's sons, brother's son or own son, the same thing, the big family. So he has killed so many Balas. And Dvija, Dronacharya was a Brahman. He also killed him in the battle. Bala Dvija and Sweet, Karna was friend, or there are many other friends who joined. So he has killed Sweet Mitra, friend, and Pitrin, just like grandfather, or Dronacharya, Kripacharya, they were killed. They are just like father says, grandfather says, Pitrin. Guru, Dronacharya was guru, spiritual master, teacher in military science, Druha. So he was thinking like that. But the real point he was missing, that whatever he has done, it has been done under the instruction of Krishna. Therefore, for ordinary man, this is a great sin. For sense gratification, if we kill so many persons, we are liable. But so far the Pandavas are concerned, they did not do it for their sense gratification. They did it for Krishna. Therefore, whatever they had done, that was right. Otherwise, ordinarily, one becomes responsible, both ways. Just like this Bolidan. Bolidan, before the goddess Kali, if it is done properly, then the goat which is sacrificed before the goddess Kali, it gets immediately a human body, which would have taken so many years, millions of years to come to the... But because it is being sacrificed, that is the Vedic mantra. And therefore, but this man who is killing, he has to become a goat to be sacrificed by this goat having taken birth as human being. Therefore it's called karma bandha. Jagyartha karma, annatra karma bandha. So there are rules and regulations. So his only aim is to eat some meat. So you can take this risk. You eat meat but give the and what is called facility the animal to become human being immediately after death. That facility is given to so that he can also take advantage of mangsa. Sa mang khadati iti mangsa. So these things are there. So name san sat nirayat moksha. There was a king who killed so many animals for sacrifice. So when he was entering heaven, I forgot the name, famous king, so many swords were ready for killing him because he killed so many animals. So therefore it is said, ordinarily, nirayat moksha. We have to take responsibility for all this. Nirayat moksha. Why? He opi varsha varsha ojuta 10,000 million. So this is karma chakra. We are getting some opportunity and making our next life. In this way it is called karma chakra. Justindra gopa mathamendra mahasakarma phalam bhajanoti. Everyone is enjoying the result of his past karma. Who? Now from beginning from that king Indra, the heavenly king, very powerful, exalted person. That Indra, and there is a insect which is called Indra Gopa. Just Indra Gopa, Maha Indra. From beginning from this insect known as Indra, and up to that Indra, everyone is bound up by his karma power. That is called destiny. Everyone is bound up. Justindra gopa matamendra maho sakarma bandhanurupa phalam abhajanati. Kintu cha bhakti bhaja, those who have taken fully surrendered to Krishna, bhakti bhaja, karmani niddhati, their karma, they niddhati means as far as possible, the result is diminished or practically made nil. Even it is there, karma phala, very slight. Just like the example is, just like one is condemned to be murdered by somebody by cutting his head, but by Krishna's grace he may be saved from cutting the head. Suppose there is some accident by knife in the hand, they are calculated like that. And generally a devotee is completely relieved from all karma phala. So, ordinarily we are indebted to so many persons, not only Bala, Dija, Gopa, but the Rishi and the Devatas. We have to take care of it, but if we become fully surrendered to Krishna, sarvatmanaji saranam saranam gato mukundam, not any other demigods. Mukundam. Mukundam means, muk means liberation. So one who gives liberation. Gato mukundam parihirta kartam. So one who takes full shelter of Mukunda, Krishna, then he is freed from all this indebtedness to so many persons. So this is our duty, to surrender fully to Krishna and be saved from the reaction of so many sinful activities in our past life. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Can anyone confirm me if they are able to hear me? Huh?
Little less, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Where is the Zoom link so I can join on this on my mobile? Apurva? Where is the Zoom link? Have you shared in any group? It was already shared. Okay. Already shared. Okay. Yeah, here. The online devotee is able to hear now. Why your camera is off? Oh, no, no, no. Yeah. Hare Krishna. And disable my sound. So today we had a class from Srila Prabhupada on first canto, 8th chapter, text number 49. Bala Bhuja Suhan Mitra Pritra Bhratra Guru Droha Name Nirayan Moksho Hi Api Varasha Yuta Yutahi. Who is speaking this verse? Yudhishthira Maharaj. What is Yudhishthira Maharaj saying in this verse? Yes, those of you are online, if in case you be part of this, if you can switch on your camera so we can interact quickly. So what is this verse, Yudhishthira Maharaj saying in this verse? Where's the mic for him? Yes, Neeraj Prabhu.
So Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying that for his sense gratification, he killed so many Balak, Dvija, friends, grandfathers, and gurus, and all the sins will be over.
Yeah, so in short, Yudhishthira Maharaj is repenting or regretting because of taking part in the war. He was the leader of the Pandava side. Because of that, so many people have been killed. Bala, kids, Dvija, Brahmanas, Suran, friends, well-wishers, Mitra, friends, Pitra, like grandfathers, Bhratra, brothers, Guru, like Dronacharya. Like that, so many have been killed. And then he says, Namesyan Nirayan Moksho. I may live for a long, long time, but I will not get moksha because I'll have to suffer for the killing of so many people. So this lecture, at least as I saw, Prabhupada speaks on two main subject matter. What is the first subject matter Prabhupada was emphasizing and speaking about in this lecture? उसको वो करो। तो क्या कर रहे हो बैठ के फोकस करो मोबाइल लेके क्यों बैठे ये श्री सनातन बाबू हाँ हाँ
Devarsi Bhuta Pranam Pitrinam. So Prabhupada was emphasizing we are indebted for so many things from so many people. There are debts from the seas, Bhuta Pranam Pitrinam.
correct. So first thing Prabhupada was emphasizing about we are indebted. Why Prabhupada was speaking about indebted? What was the connection?
Because here Yudhishthira Maharaj is lamenting for that only, that he could not, like all those things he mentioned,
Correct. So
Guru and all
Prabhupada took a cue from the word of Duja, Brahmanas. And then he began to say, these are people who needs to be protected. And then Duja, who are Dujas? Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. There is Dvij Bandhu and there is Dvij Shreshtas. Dvij Bandhu, those who are friends of Dvijas, those who cannot follow the standard, but they are born into that bloodline, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas. Somebody born into that family, but he cannot follow the culture. Dvija Shrestha, the best among the Brahmanas. So, the best amongst the Dvija. The Brahmanas are by default considered to be Dvija Shrestha. Those are supposed to guide. We discussed that last week also. They're supposed to protect the spiritual culture. So, Dvija Shrestha, from there, Prabhupada began to speak about how we are indebted to so many individuals. And very important subject because we all are product of Darwin's evolution theory. Because we all went through the school and curriculum we read is Darwin's evolution theory, and who we should be indebted to? Monkey. But we cannot be indebted to monkeys also because they did not willfully change into humans. It just accidentally happened. Evolution happened accidentally, but that's not our culture. Deva Shibhuta Tapatrana Naranam, like that, the shloka from 11th canto Prabhupada quotes. Prabhupada says we are indebted. And I feel this point should be highlighted. We should discuss this more often, even amongst our devotees. In third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna calls Stena Cha. Stena means a thief. Those who do not express their gratitude or those who do not pay the taxes, they are called as thief. And then Krishna says the thieves cannot be happy. Even at times I have seen those who have taken to Krishna consciousness. At times things are going okay, but at times they feel completely full of distraught. They're distracted, they develop misunderstandings, misgivings, they have this doubt and that doubt. And I've always wondered why somebody who proclaims to be chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra could be in such a state of consciousness. I mean, I don't know how many of you understand, realize you're coming in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moment you chant Hare Krishna, and this is not some, a sentimental idea, it's a fact. The moment you get in touch, I mean, every time you chant the holy names of the Lord, you're in direct touch with the Lord. Despite somebody who is coming in direct touch with the Lord, how can he be okay? There are results of karmic reactions. We may fall sick, we may have bad day. That's understandable. But somebody having a prolonged negative consciousness, dissatisfaction, not being happy, and yet say that I chant every day. Anyone would like to think, well, what's wrong? How many of you at least acknowledge this situation? That this is a situation which we can observe, which we have seen within the circle of devotee community. There would be some people always, I'm not saying we could also be the victim. They're chanting the holy names of the Lord, they might be doing deity worship, but in the consciousness, they're too affected. They literally are like karmis. They're always like push, pull, that sense of gratitude, the sense of care, the sense of giving, the sense of compassion. It's all about I. They keep on fighting with that. Have you observed people like this around even devotee community? If somebody is chanting holy names of the Lord, how he can still maintain this level of consciousness? Every day, that was 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I have pondered a lot on this. How many of you think it's a valid question? Somebody practicing as, he comes and says, Mera bahut man kharab chal raha hai, mera bahut mood kharab chal raha hai. Okay, you may be for a while, but you've been living a life like this all the while. There is something fundamentally wrong. Online devotees. Hey guys, if you want to be around, just switch on the camera so we can interact quickly. तुम लोग सुन भी रहे हो या attendance mark कर रहे हो समझ नहीं आता. So how many of you agree with this? So what is the answer? Anyone would like to give your answer for this? What is the solution for that individual? If he's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite that, if he's in that state of consciousness, what? And that fellow, while chanting because he has taken a vow to Guru or something, I have to chant. God knows what he chants and how he chants. And move around. I'm a senior devotee, and still have a negative mindset, negative approach. what's going on wrong? Yes, Neeraj, what could be the possible solution for them? Chant 64 rounds, so you'll become happy.
So maybe they are doing much asatsanga.
They're doing asasanga. Yes, very correct. Bhagavatam says so. Asasanga. What else?
And they are not.
What is the reason for doing asasanga? What is the cause for doing asasanga? Which is true. Bhagavatam says twice, not once, asasanga. But what is inspiring them to do asasanga? See, okay, how many of you agree? Asasanga is everywhere. Even you have access to asasanga. But you're not taking asasanga. Because in this world, asasanga is always going to be there. For example, Bhishma Pitama, Vidurji was surrounded by asasanga only. But they never had this kind of consciousness because they were not taking asasanga. So you can't say because I'm put around asasanga, so what do I do? I'm taking asasanga. No, you want to take asasanga. So what is inspiring them to take asasanga? They're developing desire to take asasanga. They want to spend time. Bhishma Pitama, Vidura could have also spent time and taken asasanga and would have got affected like Dhritarashtra and would have supported Dhritarashtra's plans. But they never took asasanga despite being surrounded by asasanga from 360 degrees. So asasanga is the correct answer. My question is more fundamental. What inspires them to take asasanga? Yes, Kaushik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think it's basically envy towards Vaishnavas.
Okay, envy towards Vaishnava. Now, we all are envious, without a doubt. So with chanting, our envy gets purified. It's not that we don't have an envy. We all have envy, by default. So by devotional practices, we get purified gradually. And Krishna says, what is that? Tesham satata yuktanam bhajata priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam ta yenamapyantite. Krishna promises, I'll give you the intelligence to overcome your lower propensities like envy. What else? What else? Why is even envy is there? We all are envious. So why suddenly he's manifesting his envy? Why is he giving into his envious attitude? Maybe some time ago he wasn't giving, but now he is giving into envious attitude. Why? Yes.
So what we have got, we are not grateful for that, and we feel unhappy.
Okay. Why you are not grateful? When you receive holy names in the beginning, you were grateful. When you receive Prabhupada's book, you were grateful at one point of time. Why you have stopped being grateful now? Why you have started becoming envious now? Why are you taking a sasanga now? Yes, please, Mike. Wait for the mic. Online devotees will not get a chance to hear. Then next we're coming to Sudhir Prabhu.
Because of the afrad, the mercy is withdrawn. That's why.
Okay, so again, why are we doing aparad now? What is leading to aparad?
Seeing the things materially. That's why.
I mean, when did you see things spiritually?
I mean,
you have the
not
ability to see
seeing
things
others like around devotees as Vaishnavas.
But when you come in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, you see everyone with four hands. So what is the reason? Yes or no? Anyone put a tilak. Prabhuji done was pranam. That was our attitude in the beginning. So it looks like you had a spiritual vision, now you're having material vision. What is the cause for it? Yes, Sudhir Prabhu. Then Mother Medhavani and then Lord Prabhu. Please go ahead.
But they are not sincere about their faith and their worship and their prasadna.
Okay, they are not sincere, they are not faithful. Faith comes from knowledge. Kanishta Madhyama Uttama. Okay. So faith is a valid point, but it comes from knowledge. So somewhere something is missing in knowledge. That's where answer goes, okay? We'll build up on it. Thank you, Sudhir Prabhu. Mother Medhavani and then Lord Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. So the performance of devotional service is feeding the false ego and not feeding the heart. So we think I am the doer, I am doing devotional service so much, and because of this false ego, the controllership mentality, and I am the doer, I am doing so much, that false ego is enabling us to become envious, to not take our sadhana seriously, to not be grateful, and that leads to everything else, Prabhu. That's my limited understanding. Dandat Pranam.
Which is valid, but I have a fundamental question. Why it happens for one but not to other? Because the sense of ownership, proprietorship, all that, we all have that. Why one devotee becomes a victim to it while the other devotee does not become victim to it? Now, if in case we had that ability of control on ourselves, then it was a question. But we don't have that ability of control. Somebody becomes a victim, other doesn't become a victim. What's going on here? Varun Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think the medicine prescribed is the Harinam and the chanting. We are not doing that our chanting sadhana properly, and because of that we are not
Okay,
able to get
Varun
the
Prabhu,
mercy.
yeah, I have a question to you. Can you decide to do your sadhana properly and make it effectively? Or you can only humbly attempt? Rest depends on the Lord's mercy.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So it means it is not even in your hand to do your sadhana properly. You can only desire and pray to the Lord that He blesses you so that you can do your sadhana properly. Yes or no? Even trying to do our sadhana properly, there's a sense of controllership. Okay.
Yeah.
Mother Radhika, wanted to say something?
Hare Krishna, Guruji. I was just thinking whether we have to follow the instructions of the Guru and also read the scriptures because that read and hear the scriptures because that's what actually purifies us.
Okay. Okay. Can you put Mother Ujjwala either in waiting room or mute her? Yeah. So what we're talking about, so Mother Radhika was saying to follow the instructions of Guru. So here is my take onto this question that we are trying to explore here. Somewhere, as Mother Radhika was saying, somebody made a point about faith, Sudhir Prabhu. We are not following our dharma. We are not following our duties. And this particular lecture of Prabhupada focuses on that. Prabhupada was talking about yajna. Anything in this world, when you receive, you are indebted. You're supposed to give back. We are getting sunshine. Nobody in this creation will pay tax if the government does not enforces tax, because that is our nature. That is our conditioned nature. How much ever we have is always insufficient. So government enforces tax. So government is enforcing tax, we are paying tax. How does nature enforces tax? And if we don't pay back to nature, we must be punished. So what happens with this individual is nothing but a consequence of that punishment, because we are not doing our dharma properly. So we are whatever in the Varnashrama dharma, brahmachari, grahastha. So everyone has to follow. Now when we say following instructions, brahmachari has a dharma and grahastha has a dharma. Yes, we say we are the students of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada said, yes, the Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtan Yajna is a yajna for this day and time. Everyone should chant. But did Prabhupada only said perform Sankirtan Yajna? What else Prabhupada said? But unfortunately, people have restricted and limited their life only completing 16 rounds and not doing other things. And therefore, they are deprived of this. And they become more and more of a thief, even while practicing spiritual life. So for brahmachari, prana, artha, dhiya, vacha, he's supposed to dedicate all of that in the service of the Lord. What about grahastha? Just chant your 16 rounds, do deity worship. Is your work done? Where is your financial contribution? Where is your tithing? If you're earning money, when you pay taxes to the government, did Prabhupada say or not? Every earning man should contribute. If you're holding it back, whatever it is, you are a thief. Without a doubt, and I've said this many times, if you don't follow this formula now, such individuals will always remain confused. They will not be able to make decisions in their life. They'll become more and more selfish, self-centered, and then they'll begin to find faults. Because there is no end to greed. How much ever you get, there is no end. If Polavecha Sridhar, even with 50 paisa earning, he can do a split. He can follow 50% formula with hardly 50 paisa earning. We can't even give X amount money, even if we're given a freedom, contribute whatever you want, but do, because that's the rule. You can't just keep holding it back and then think, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. I mean, what power do you have in your sadhana? What is the capacity of sadhana? And that is what Prabhupada is saying. We are indebted. We're indebted because we have grown up in a culture, there is no understanding we are indebted. We are indebted to Brahmanas. We are indebted to कहते हैं friends. Prabhupada begins the discussion. We indebted to Devatas. We indebted to Brahmanas, those who are teachers. Prabhupada says, who gave you Srimad Bhagavatam? We asked him. So how are you repaying your debt? How are you paying your debt to him? How are you paying back your debt to the Devatas who are providing everything for us? Your body is not maintained because you are trying to maintain the body. Your body is maintained by the Devata. Every limb has the Ishta. For the eyes, it is Surya Devata. How are we doing that? For that purpose, it is right. Prabhupada said, rather than serving all the Devatas. Prabhupada said here in the lecture, Deva Yajna has been prescribed in the Shastras. Now going for the different Devatas to take care of the different aspect. Prabhupada said, serve Krishna. Well, how are we serving Krishna? Are we serving Krishna or are we trying to just utilize the given facility to maintain ourselves or to maintain our life? What is our sacrifice is something we have to ask. Yajna, we are supposed to perform yajna. This whole first part of the lecture, he focused on yajna. What yajna are we performing? Bas, humne Harinam kar liya, Sunamala kar liya. Yes, no doubt, that is important. But we have to prepare our consciousness to approach that Sankirtan yajna. How are you preparing your consciousness? If our consciousness is filled with greed, our consciousness is filled with pride, envy, how will you approach Sankirtan yajna? Would that Sankirtan yajna make a difference? So we have to prepare ourselves to approach Sankirtan yajna. Just like you have to sit in yajna, you have to take a bath, you have to wear a fresh piece of cloth, you have to fast until yajna ends, you cannot eat. What are you doing for approaching holy names of the Lord? बस होली नेम हाँ ठीक है हम कर लेते हैं, हम हो जाता है करके, बट सारा पैसा मेरा, सारा पैसा मेरे परिवार के लिए. This kind of consciousness, na? So despite having, of course, this is only happens because of not having, as Sudhir Purati said, not having faith. Why don't have faith? Because we don't have a knowledge. We don't understand how this thing functions. Despite having an idea, basic idea, high level idea, I'm not the controller, proprietor, enjoyer. But however, we act like this. I'm the controller, I'm the proprietor, I'm the enjoyer. I want to control my life, I want to control my destiny. I'm the proprietor of all my resources and I'm the enjoyer of all my resources. Now you look around, you will see that happen. You see that happens. And then people around moving around saying that मैं वरिष्ठ हो गया हूँ, मैं इतने सालों से हूँ, तो मुझे सही पता है, मुझे गलत पता है करके they move around. Such a person cannot be happy. He cannot be happy in his material life, he cannot be happy in spiritual life. And this was the first part of the lecture Prabhupada quoted. And then finally Prabhupada spoke about, then he focused on about Yudhishthira. And Prabhupada said, well, Yudhishthira had no need to repent because he did everything under the direction of Lord Sri Krishna. Like that. That was the second part of the discussion, which was only a very part of it. 3/4 of the lecture was based on, centered around yajna. I would highly recommend all of you, please go through the transcript again and ask yourself, are you following your dharmas? Are you following your yajna that are supposed to do? Or you just accepted for my fact, bus, my Sankirtan yajna is being done. But my question to you is, how are you preparing yourself to perform Sankirtan yajna? Have you done that for yourself? To prepare yourself to perform Sankirtan yajna? And therefore our Sankirtan yajna doesn't happen properly. When we sit down to chant, our mind is filled with material desires. Our mind is so distracted. Who do you blame? Who's responsible for it? Our mind is filled with so much lust, filled with so much greed. Do you think in that contaminated consciousness you'll perform yajna? What yajna is being performed? You are the yajman and you are the one who's offering ahuti also. You're doing both the parts. Neither you are able to chant the mantra properly because your mind is distracted. What ahuti would you offer? आप यज्ञ में बैठा कर, how many of you have ever attended yajna? Fire yajna? If a brahmana starts chanting mantras wrongly, do you think that yajna, anything will happen to that yajna? You will be mad at that person. You look at yourself, what is your ahuti? We are chanting, we don't even know at times if we're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, some other mantra. Even if we're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra fully. Why this is happening? Have you prepared yourself? No, I mean, it's totally misdirected. Anyway, so that's the whole idea of this chapter, this particular lecture, focused on yajna. So as long as we don't have knowledge, this is what's going to happen. We're not going to have faith on these things. We have got faith in certain things, but it's all based on sentiments. Or maybe we got some experience when we danced in kirtans, we had some tears rolling down, so we're doing it. Now somebody says we're chanting 60 notes. What is an evidence you're chanting 60 notes? Who has a way to measure your chanting 60 notes? Who can come and verify you chanting 60 notes? You think about it. But Paramatma knows what's going on, na? And that is how you're going to reciprocate to you. And if you're really chanting, you should be in bliss. You should feel sheltered. Our heart should be full of gratitude. I can't imagine when devotees have become selfish and devotees ungrateful. That is just so amazing and shocking to me. How can somebody be chanting the holy names of the Lord, getting in touch with the Lord directly every day, yet be so ungrateful and so selfish? I mean, by their behavior, you can understand what's going on. And they move around saying, we are doing this, we are doing that. So we kind of cheat ourselves. So long story short, we need to cultivate knowledge. We need to repeat these things. We are so choosy. We want to hear certain things, but we don't want to hear everything else. Everyone, Prabhupada says, and if not believe me, look at this, and you can observe this. Prabhupada repeatedly said, don't jump to 10th canto, Leela, unless you have understood the philosophy and the greatness of the Lord properly. But you'll see that people at time again want to jump to Leela. मैं बस लीला सुननी है, मैं लीला सुननी है. But their practice, their application is nothing. अरे कितना philosophy सुनेंगे? Philosophy सुनने का फायदा क्या जब तुम practice ही नहीं कर रहे? And therefore Prabhupada kept on repeating. I mean, he would be one acharya who did not discuss leelas only. You look at Prabhupada's lectures. He kept on hammering the same point. First of all, you fix your fundamentals. Because if you don't fix your fundamental, you are totally on a sentimental level. You know, dhavato manoratha. You know, you're sitting, your mind is controlling you. आज ये लीला पसंद है तो सुन ली, कल दूसरी लीला ही सुन ली, पर करोगे वही condition nature वाला कार्य. Okay. So philosophy is something we need to hear as an austerity, even if we find it difficult. Why somebody would find philosophy difficult? One reason somebody finds philosophy difficult is he's like, अरे यार मैं practice नहीं कर रहा, मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा. And the philosophy teaches you to do it. And that person, यार मैं नहीं सुनना चाहता. इससे बढ़िया तो मैं लीला सुनूंगा, आनंद में रहूंगा. Okay. Otherwise, why would you have such an aversion for hearing philosophy? Person develops aversion because somewhere he has a guilt, because I cannot do it, but I don't hear it. So these are our state of consciousness. And if you have it, all the best. All right, so we pause here for the lecture. Sorry, I was intending to take a quiz, but the sacrifice got me a little bumped up. All right. So we'll pause here. Thank you all for your kind attention. Yeah, if I can just do a quick, what do you call that? Rapid fire round. Just quick 10 rapid fire rounds. Okay. Once again, raise your right hand if you agree. Raise your left hand if you disagree. All right? तुम लोग आके बंद करो, वरना public vote के हिसाब से चलते हो. And those of you online, if you can switch on your cameras, it'll be quick. All right. First question. Yudhishthira feared punishment in hell for killing boys, brahmanas, friends, parents, and teachers. आंखें बंद करके जवाब दो. Yes. In Vedic society, special protection is recommended for cows and brahmanas. Yes. The answer Duja strictly means only for brahmanas and not kshatriyas or vaishyas. No. Okay. Performing yajna for devtas is unnecessary because they do not affect us. They do affect us. Saurabh. No. Question समझा नहीं तो शायद confused हो गए, हाँ? No problem. The question of performing yajna for devtas is unnecessary. They do not affect us. No, they do affect us. We need to perform, but we perform for Krishna. Fifth, the sun, moon, and devtas are considered creditors to humans because we depend on their gifts. Sun, moon, devtas, they provide for us, so they are creditors. Yes or no? Yes. So raise your right hand. Why are you raising left hand, some of you? A person who takes full shelter of Krishna, Sarvatmana, is still indebted to devatas and rishis permanently. No. जिसने भगवान की शरण ली है, so they prove no, not right hand, left hand. Who has taken shelter of the Lord, he is not anymore indebted to Devtas or anyone. Srila Prabhupada proved killing out of sense gratification as morally right? No. Karma results in rina, debt, which can cause suffering if unpaid. If you receive service from others and if you do not reciprocate, you will suffer for it. And I've spoken about it in terms of brahmachari and grasta relationship also, okay, in the past. If you ever go for Brahman Bhojan kind of a thing, which is traditionally only meant for somebody born in Brahmana Kul, if in case you go also, make sure you do seva and come. Don't only take seva and come. Yudhishthira's remorse ignored the fact that his actions were performed under Krishna's instructions. Yes or no? He forgot that. So correct. Last question. A fully surrendered devotee is largely freed from the cycle of karma phala. A fully surrendered devotee is largely freed from the cycle of karma phala. So which devotee? Who is fully surrendered. Not 10%, 20%. Surrender. And to that degree, you will experience bliss in your life. Jaya Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. यस आप लोग का साधना कार्ड और जिन लोगों ने अभी तक अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन शीट नहीं भरी है मुझे